Now, welcome back, students, with the new lecture that is on the modes on propagation. What's the modes of propagation? A wave has both electric and magnetic fields. All transverse components of electric and magnetic fields are determined from the axial components of electric and magnetic fields. In the z direction, this allows mode formations such as TE, TM, and TEM, and hybrid in microwaves. So, what are the modes? We have to know. So generally, first of all, look up the figure. You can see here there are three axes are going to three dimensional wave parts, that is the EX, EY, EZ. Absolutely, you can know that where the electric field goes, the magnetic field will go through to it, that is the HX, HY, and HZ. So this particular section, how we can see, how we can just identify the modes. What are the modes? You have to know. Mode formations or modes are the thing where the electromagnetic wave, or where the electromagnetic wave front is generated. Okay, electromagnetic wave front is generated. That's the thing. So the modes propagation of microwaves are the three type of propagations. First of all, transverse electromagnetic field. When you can see the TEM mode, you have to keep on your mind that it helps to propagate through a certain conductor channel which don't have any hollow core. Okay, that's a solid core conductor channels will propagate this type of transverse electromagnetic mode. What are the transverse electromagnetic mode? Just think about this structure. So there's the x-axis, there's the y-axis, and there's the z-axis. Let us know about the thing. One thing is pretty much clear. You have to know, that is that if you propagate electric field on x-axis, the magnetic field corresponds to the electric field will propagate through y-axis because they are orthogonal to each other, or in the z-axis, right? Now you have to understand that the transmission, if any kind of transmission that make a coplane or coplanar transmission, that you can say there is a plane created here. There's a plane created here. There's a plane created here, as you can see. This area, if it propagates through the z direction, so itself has the x and y components right there, but the frames are going through from the z direction upwards. So that is gonna be the thing of transverse electric or magnetic field. Okay, transverse, okay, upwards the z direction. Okay, now think about it. Just forget about the plane that has been created here, what is known as the transverse field. If there are no components propagate through the z direction, if it is 0, so did it is purely transverse the direction of propagation, there are no components in z direction. If Ez and Hz is 0, then it is known as transverse electromagnetic field. What is transverse electromagnetic field? There is a field around this y and x, just go through to this type of two directions, not going through to that direction, not going through the z direction, is known as TEM, transverse electromagnetic field. Okay, so now what about the transverse electric wave? It's easy. The transverse electric wave will show no electric field through z direction. That means whatever else the name here, it has to be removed from the transmission of the axis, z axis. That means if it is transverse electric wave, that means no electrical component upon the z axis or through the z axis will propagate, that will be 0. So that will be transverse electric. When TE, when electric is there, so E will be 0, EZ will be 0, but HZ is not equal to, that means HZ is still there. How can we just draw a conclusion or understand this? First of all, as I have said, that if EZ or EX runs through here and EY runs through here, okay, as you can see, HZ is not equal to 0. That means HZ will be there. HZ will be there. So transverse electric field wave do not generate the EZ upwards. Okay. So if it doesn't give any kind of a propagation through the upwards transverse electric wave, so as you can see that if you say that this set, the x-axis set and y-axis set, they will propagate through this channel. That means if it is a signal two-phase set, that will propagate through the xy direction forward. That is a transverse electric wave. Okay, now go through to the magnetic, that means transverse magnetic field wave. What is transverse magnetic wave? Transverse magnetic wave is a wave where Hz is 0 but Ez is not equal to 0. That means there are some value over Ez but no value of Hz there. That means if we just draw the axis directions here, x, y and z, so we have a electric field right above the z direction. So it will go through to the z direction like this. It has a simple electromagnetic plane and the plane will rise about the z axis, rise through the z axis. Okay. So what are the hybrid wave? Hybrid wave means both in the z axis we can get the electric and magnetic field. So that will be known as the hybrid wave. That means that is completely different from the TEM wave. In TEM wave there is no electric or magnetic field propagate through the z axis. That's all. So multi-conductor lines normally support TEM mode of propagation, that I have told you before. The coaxial lines or transmission lines, they show the TEM wave generation. But waveguides are the single conductor lines that allow only TE or TM modes but not TEM mode, because the three modes could not be could not exist on same plane, or you can say on same case. Okay, case of propagation, if you choose the open channel single conductor lines, so you can easily understand that whether it should be TE, whether it should be TM, not TEM. When TM is in operation, there will be no TE and no TM. Okay, so TM itself is a centrified coplanar wave propagation. Okay, so open conductor guides support to hybrid waves. So open conductor that guides support to hybrid waves. Hybrid waves have both TE and TM modes operating on the channel, waveguide channel. So that's all for now for the modes of the propagation and also the classification of transmission lines according to the structures that we have known previously. Thank you very much for being with me.